guys, welcome to Poetry at Kuzma Session 5 Back to School. Hope you're having a great time. Now tonight, make some noise, alright. Now tonight, thanks man. Tonight is all dedicated, it's all about school, back to school, all about the lessons that we've learned in life, all the lessons we've learned, we're gonna share each other's wisdom or learn how we fucked up big time over the years. And tonight, I'd like to invite the first guy on stage. He's the main man. Poetry at Kuz is his baby. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Daryl Edmund. Daryl, come on up, man. Come on, my guy.
Hello. Alright, I'm not really used to starting off this shit, but yeah, because I'm always talking too much cock on stage. But anyway, I'll get to the main thing. But before that, cheers, everybody. Alright, this one is called Pit Stop and Hitchhiker. Here we go. Sometimes you're up, and well, most of the time you're down. Pay close attention to someone and you notice there's always less of a smile and more of a frown. Oh, I'm not here to pollute your mind with fumes of negativity, nor litter your thoughts with little strips of melancholy. No. Quite the opposite, actually. What I want is to bring you back to reality. Take you out from the cylindrical downward spiral of the cynical. Peel out that veil of common misconception from your eyes. Inject realism into your ears and flush out the daily bullcrap we're shoving into them and tell you that life is fucked up. Yeah, most of the time. Go ahead, let it sink in. The truth hurts. Yeah, that's what she said. Life is fucked up, but I didn't say it can't be beautiful. Yeah! How can something be fucked up yet beautiful at the same time? I mean, I know she was, but see, this is my theory of life. We are constantly moving from one point to a final destination, but it's one hell of a bumpy ride that's going to leave you with bruises and scars. So why carry on with the journey? Because as it is with every journey, you come across pit stops, moments where you can rest, you can heal, you can clear your mind. They make you realize that no matter how fucked up the road is, there's something to look forward to. And so you leave, back on the road, getting thrown off course, bloody, battered and torn. But you still keep on going. Why? Because you know the next pit stop is going to be worth the pain. And so you carry on, clawing away through every step, looking for that pit stop. And sometimes you come across hitchhikers. Majority don't stay for the whole journey, but they leave you with long-lasting impressions. Then, there are one or two hitchhikers who don't get off, but stay for the whole journey, going through every bump and crack with you. So now, you're back on the road, on this fucked up journey to God knows where. But you're not alone anymore. You're still making it through. Why? For the pit stop and the hitchhikers. See, that's what life is all about. Not living every day as though it's a fairy tale all fine and dandy. No. It's these pit stops, finding that diamond in the rough. The very knowledge that among all that is unbearable, sickening and hopeless, you have these small but meaningful moments of joy and wonder to look forward to. These small moments that make you smile and give you an excuse to get up every day. But remember, nothing lasts forever. And my hitchhiker, my pit stop, that diamond in the rough, she transformed into my road, filling it with more bumps and cracks. So much more. But no, you don't quit there, you carry on. Because I know the next pit stop, a hitchhiker I come across will make this shit all worthwhile. Life, my friends. The search for that special moment. The knowledge that good times don't last, and so one must make the best out of which that which one treasures for soon. That day will come when it is taken from you. Once again, you may call me a cynic, but in actual fact, I'm a realist.
Yeah, give it up, Daryl. Man has been through the school of hard knocks and everything. Woo. All right, and now about our next person is coming up. She's a very dear friend of mine. She's very new to the whole poetry scene. Everybody, give it up for Pamela. Give it up, Pamela.
I love you.
Hello. This is a personal experience that happened in secondary school. It's not a very happy one. Yeah. Okay. This doesn't have a title. I'm just going to continue. Okay. When my science teacher talked about creepy crawlies, your diluted semen forced its way up my throat, leaving its foul, bitter taste on my tongue, drowning out my iced Milo, a remedy for memory to forget, a broth to cure a sickness of regret. Your fingers were little termites crawling up my thighs, all red and all greedy. They suited a block of 5-inch wood more than the succulent width of virgin flesh. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Feelers brushing, eyes dilating, a young girl screaming. It's difficult to swat 10 little insects away when they knew where they were going. A worker bee overthrew his queen, surpassing her millions of conjugates to prove his pride, ego, and dignity. He heard that she had slept with the colony, but all he did was to hear. Bees are not blind, but they don't necessarily see. They don't notice the little details of her anatomy, other than the head, thorax, and especially her abdomen. They missed out the fragility of her broken wing, the cracks in the skull and the torn stinger, ripped out from complete strangers. He knew it would be easy to take a fly swatter and crush the insides of a 13-year-old body, preserving the limbo of her metamorphosis, a cocoon enclosed in a slimy, sweaty queen shell, a wing, the broken wing slipping through the cracks in what could have been a new skull. He found the deformity distracting and bit the protruding object with his fangs, dripping with Paul Frank lip gloss and cigarette breath. You whisper, insects are strange and they are meant to be killed, and crushed my body with 2 fingers. Thank you.
That's a really good shoot from Pam. Alright. Now coming up next. Okay, he just found out he was about to read about 10 seconds ago, but never mind that. He runs the U21 Poetry Slam, a slam for, kids, generally secondary school kids. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Robert. Robert, come up.
Now I just got told I was about to read 10 seconds ago, so this is a piece called Time. It's about NS. I'm going to ORD in 67 days.
What is ORD?
Finish NS. There is space between all things, 2 halves of a closed window for which the wind slips, whistling. And there is occasionally time, lying empty between moments, a glass as it falls from standing to breaking. This time is a cushion of space that stops us colliding to the pillars of our days, stumbling to the haze that surrounds us, and falling over all the little things that the world makes stand in our way. See, it softens the hardness of happening. Let's just get back up, well rest to face what the day brings, but in my time I am drifting. If these years were an ocean, I'd be looking for the land, for somewhere to anchor, so it maybe could not fall to every other second pushed along by a sea breeze, but in the distance I hear the sirens beckon telling me, when I get there I'm gonna be great. When I get there, I'm gonna be better. When I get there, it's gonna be worth the wait. You see, I measure my days in grains of sand. I forget what an hour is as it slips my mind and through the fingers of the second hand. I forget what a day is because so little divides them that they all begin to blend and I mark them. Or at least I try. But the flow of time washes everything away, makes it immaterial like sandcastles and rising waves, and the thing is, I don't mind. I don't mind watching my time crumble in the shadows while I'm sitting on the shore, watching the sun set and rise again. I don't mind, and that scares me. What a way to spend time waiting for it to pass. Waiting for class to end, waiting for a bus, waiting for something to happen and pull me out of this waiting at last. Yeah. That was it. Can I get one more?
Oh, why not?
This is another NS poem. It's about it's about seeing all my friends go overseas and me being here. When I crossed the border from blue to green, they cut a clearing on my head. The unexpected weight fell like so many trees. I couldn't see the forest. I didn't see a leaf. Where you are, 8 hours and 2 continents away, there are hills. Unlike in Singapore, these hills are wide, rolling, unburdened by trees, grass growth, and leaves do not litter the ground. There are lakes, not reservoirs, natural catchments let lie. In your world, expand. So I learned to fit 8 people into sedan. The laugh as the suspension grows with our weight. I learned to use my space. For you see, you live in a castle and I live in a first floor fortress. Here, our walls are not of bricks but men, because we have no natural resources. Our cannons are not led to rust, turn curios for museums, but point into the distance. This country waits for someone to cross that space, and I wait in the crowded crevices, the cracks that we are broken through. I learned to cut myself from these days, to stand in place and eat my parts within that space. I learned to swim in air thick with sound, speak language of that sea, set myself adrift and let myself be lifted by the currents. I am the island in the islands. I drink water from my reservoirs until I can suspend myself and laugh under the weight of my burden. I leave for home some days with the birds. I feel the setting of the sun in their hollow bones, and I feel it on my skin as the evening breathes and stirs my body into flight. One day, I will land the soft light of Arctic 8 hours and 2 continents away and scratch the smallest seeds of grass on the rolling hills. Thanks.
Alright guys, that was Robert for you. He may have had a beer or two, but he's still fantastic. Alright. Now the next guy that's coming up is a very good friend of mine. I'll be honest, because he's a good friend of mine. This motherfucker's batshit crazy. Bring a kid in front of him and you lost him for the next 10 minutes, or maybe the rest of the day. Guys, give it up for Wei Liang!
Hi, I am Wei Liang, and this is my 51st time doing stand-up. I feel very, very old these days. I am older than the Twitter. I am older than the Facebook. I am older than the internet. For the longest time, I didn't have a Facebook account. So when I first started doing comedy all the way back in January 2014, all the comedians were like, oh, you must go on Facebook, like this, like that, friend this, friend that. Finally, I went around saying, hi, I'm Wei Liang, I don't have a Facebook page. Hi, I'm Wei Liang, I don't have a Facebook page. Then the comedian came up to me, he was like, where have you been? I said, away. He said, away from Earth? I said, yes. Now, I was actually talking about depression. But apparently, all the comedians who overheard me thought that I was talking about outer space. Like outer, space. Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. There's a star man waiting in the sky. He'll like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'll blow our minds. There's a star man. So I finished, I think it was my second set at Blue Jazz Cafe. And this comedian named Vanessa, she was very nice. She invited me to the bar to have a drink with her. And while she was ordering her beer, I poured a glass of water and pushed it to her. And she stared at it in absolute horror. Like I was offering her space water. Like she was going to drink it and wake up hours later on my spacecraft as my alien queen. And together we were going to solve the twin problems of global warming and declining birth rates in first world countries. Which actually I can solve. Just make me emperor of the world, see how. Another comedian comes to me, he's like, what on earth do you do for money? What he really meant was, what do you do for money on earth? So I'm a freelance copywriter, which means that these days I make most of my money giving English tuition. Some of my new clients, they come up to me, they're like, why aren't you white, or Indian, or you know, a woman? My standard response is because I'm better.
Oh! Damn, son.
Not as a human being, I'm a terrible human being. But as an English tutor, I am very, very good. I am out of this world. I charge quite a lot so that I don't have to work so much. So that means that most of my clients are rich kids. And because rich kids don't know how to do their homework, my busiest day is actually Sunday. Kind of like, you know, God. I was at home one Sunday night minding my own business when I received an emergency SMS from someone whom I consider an ex-student. He's from Russia, let's call him Alex. And Alex really is in university now doing economics. I thought my work there was done. But I rush over in a taxi and I'm like, Alex, what's wrong? And Alex was having girlfriend problems. His girlfriend is from China, also studying here. Let's call her Lisa, because her name is Lisa. And Lisa wouldn't get off the webcam to let Alex do his homework. So Alex was like, can you do my homework while I chat with my girlfriend? I said, no, Alex, that's plagiarism. It's wrong. So he said, how about I do my homework and you chat with my girlfriend? I said, okay. Oh, Alex, why can't I see you? I'm so lonely. We are born alone, we die alone, and in between we are alone. You are lonely, Lisa, because you are human. Zen. Oh, Alex, why are you being so cruel to me? I am cruel because I am Russian, and I am Russian because I am cruel. That is ancient Russian proverb that only makes sense in Russian. Zen. And every once in a while, do you want to break up with me? And every time she typed it, I was like, do you want to break up with her? No, no, no. Until finally, fuck you! Fuck your teacher! Do you want to break up with me now? Alex, do you want to break up with her now? Niet. Not yet. Not yet. Alex went, no! He rushed to the computer. I was like, I am too old for this shit, so I went to the toilet. When I came back, I saw in capital letters, I'm going to kill myself! This made Alex turn on the webcam. Just in time to capture me saying, never mind, let her die. She's from China, they have a one-child policy. If she dies, her parents will make a better one. Maybe a boy like they always wanted. The webcam went off and Alex was like, oh no, what do I do now? I said, oh, we can do your homework. So we did his homework for half an hour and then, ding dong. You know how it's supposed to be really sexy when a girl shows up at her boyfriend's place wrapped in a coat, and underneath the coat, nothing but a smile. Lisa showed up wrapped in a coat and crying on the tiny little black and white intercom screen. Oh, Alex, I want to see you. Do you want to see me? Alex looked at the tiny little black and white intercom screen. He was practically drooling. I said, you're welcome. Then he gave me a fuckload of money and I left you the service elevator. The end. I'm William. Thanks for listening. Good night. Is that my time? Yeah, that's my time. Yeah, that's
Give it up, William, once again. Alright, moral of the story. Next time you got girlfriend problems, just let your tuition teacher handle it. Alright, now we're gonna go for a short break. Coming back, we've got music, we've got more poetry, more stories, whatever the heck. Alright, just hang around, get a drink, go to the toilet, go for a smoke. We'll be back in about 10 minutes or so. Alright, see you in a bit. Alright guys, break time's over. We're going into the second half of Poetry at Kuz tonight, and the next act isn't just poetry. He's Singapore's very own Ed Sheeran, in my opinion. And my opinion is something. Fuck whoever thinks otherwise. Give it up for Shaq!
What's up, guys? Okay. What's up, guys? My name is Shaq. I'm not Singapore's Ed Sheeran. But I try, yeah. This first song, since it's like back to school, so I figured I'd do covers of songs that I listened to when I was in school. This first song is I Will Follow You Into the Dark. So, if you know the words, sing along.
tunnels the gate so wide, stop hands clasp so tight, waiting for into the spot. Having hell inside, they both are satisfied. Illuminate the notes and their vacancy signs. There's no one beside you when you're so embarrassed. Now I'll follow you into the dark. Catholic school, as vicious as Roman rule. I got my knuckles bruised by lady in black. The hell my tongue, as she told me, son, fear is the hard love. So I never went back. Having hell inside, they both are satisfied. Illuminate the notes and their vacancy signs. There's no one beside you when you're so embarrassed. Now I'll follow you into the dark. You and me, I've seen everything to see. From back onto Calgary, and the soles of your shoes all worn down. Time to sleep is now, there's nothing to cry about. The darkest the rooms, heaven, hell inside, they both are satisfied. Illuminate the notes on their vacancy signs. There's no one beside you when you're so embarrassed. Now I'll follow you into the dark. Now I'll follow you into the dark. I will follow you into the dark. So that's that.
I mean, since you mentioned Ed Sheeran, might as well do a cover. This is, I probably messed the words up because it's been a while since I played this song. It's the 18, so yeah.
White lips and face, breathing snowflakes, burn lungs, sour taste. Lights gone, days in, struggling to pay rent, lonely night and strange wind. They sang in class 18, sucking her daydream. In this race since 18, lately her face seems slowly sinking, wasted, crumbling like pastries. They scream, worst things in life come free to us, 'cause we're all under the hour high. Home back for a couple minutes. She don't wanna go outside tonight. Carrying that pipe, she flies through the motherland. Sells love to another night. It's too cold outside for angels to fly. Angels fly. Little lovers make a go. Try to swim, say no. House where to go. Loose chains, bend low. Weary eyes, dry throat. Cool girl. They say, sticking like 18, stuck in her daydream. In this way since 18, they leave her face seems so sinking, wasted, crumbling like pastries. They scream, worst things in life can feed us, 'cause we're all under the upper hand. Go mad for a couple of months. She don't wanna go outside tonight. Carrying her pipe, flies to the motherland. Sells love to another man. It's too cold outside. Angels fly. Angels fly. like she never ever knew. A smile that shines brighter than the sun. In the moment, I wish you could fly. To catch her for things we'd right. See, I love the way. See, I love the way. Never knew love, never needed you, never needed anyone but me. Don't worry, don't worry.
So yeah, that was something else. Do we have time for one more? Yeah, one more. What do you guys want to hear? What do you guys want to hear? Okay. So I heard do y'all think y'all can say fuck you? Like, do you think you can do that? Because I feel like being CeeLo Green. Fuck you, yeah? So you know the song, whenever you're supposed to say fuck you, okay? So here you go.
I see you driving round town with my love, and I'm like, fuck you. I guess the change in my pocket wasn't enough either. Fuck you. Till I was with ya, still be with ya. Like that's some shit. That's some shit. Although this chain in my chest, I still shoot it with her. But I don't go Ferrari. That don't mean I can get you there. But she's an Xbox, and I'm going Atari. See the boss in love with you, but she don't. It's a mix for you.
Go run around and tell your boyfriend.
I see you driving around town with the girl I love, and I'm like, fuck you. It's the change in my pocket wasn't enough, you know. Fuck you. And I said if I was with ya, still be with ya. But that's some shit. Don't do this pain in my chest. I still shoot the best with her.
Your mother should be so proud. I'm done, thank you.
Give it up a shout, man! Give it up! Son of a bitch! Alright. Alright, that's one summer now. Coming up next, we're gonna have some poetry. He's in the army, he's rough, he's tough. He has a problem with swearing, but who gives a fuck? Hey, guys, give it up for Bravo!
I like how I'm now known for swearing. Okay, I'm gonna start with the sadder poem first. So it's chronological in that sense. Then we go to the more fun poem. So this is called Regret. This list is neither exhaustible nor chronological. I regret breaking down in school as a child. I regret being a bratty ass pansy at the playground. I regret being a stupid kid. I regret not telling her she was beautiful. I regret every opportunity I gave up for a level. I regret every party I went to instead of gaining ELO. I regret not saying it. I regret not leaning over to whisper of a half glass of whiskey. I regret a lack of adventure. I regret not studying. I regret not putting obvious effort. I regret my lack of willpower. I regret being edgy. I regret lies. I regret creating false distance. I regret letting myself go. I regret short days. I regret holding myself back. I regret adding lines in this poem seeming ironic. I regret making this sound trivial or funny. I regret taking myself lightly. I regret myself. Help me, for I do not know. My bottle fills and my mask is cracked. I am sick of hope and I hunger and I thirst. Emotional baggage. I don't enjoy giving it. I've always prided myself in carrying it all. And it's like the pride that runs through my grandfather pushes through me. And I feel just as he would, and I refuse just as he would. Yet I have some semblance of resolve in word thanks to my mom. A drive of pragmatism I can only attribute to both. And yet, I can't cut it when I went through. I can't re-shunt frayed ends. I thought I knew how to solve everything. People are an equation, but I can't solve this one. There are too many variables, too many words, too many functions, too many stanzas, too many transformations, too many metaphors. And these regrets are filling my bottle. And no amount of crying can spill it. And I have a mantra of hesitation, but my philosophy prides on having that clutch. I don't know where it starts or where it ends. It's everything I mentioned above and less. It's every regret I've ever had creeping up on me unawares. Thank you. So, next one's a bit more, okay, I won't say happy, but it's nicer. I'm really proud of the title, because I named it Metal Soup for the Chicken Soul. And yeah, because I was lately listening to a lot of like new metal, like NEW then NU metal, and it's based on that. Riff is my mantra, wrath my demon devil, lick is my prayer, and the lack of his my silent doom. The apprehension of the next note and bar squeaks as the mouse named Pianissimo. He is under his O, just under the treble clef. E minor he steps into melody. I need speed, riff my heartbeat, lick is my foot tearing at the seams of my lips. And fingers cannot go any faster due to the limits of physics. Chug, chug, chug as I drink song after song as the inner workings of the back of my brain go heavy. Death, heavy metal. All the flavors, the aroma of the wicked and mean beggar of a man I despise and yet embrace tight. Every ounce of darkness I can let leak into the purity of the air, around me bathed in happy songs of love and heartbreak. Oh, she's so cold. Nobody moves, nobody gets hurt. An apex predator hunts wearing an Adidas shirt. As the creeping death pounces on Pianissimo in a crescendo of blood and guts, the tail is on the run. The freak on the leash is rabid and wild, its eyes, those hands, the window, the horror, the genius, the utter genius. Thank you.
And that's Bravo for you guys. A fun fact about Bravo, he reads poetry while playing heavy metal guitar at the same time. That shit is awesome. Why didn't you do that tonight, man? Anyway. Alright, coming up next is a vocalist. She's gonna sing something for us tonight. The last time I saw her, she was telling everyone about how sexy she is. Guys, give it up for Bud and Ida.
I'm so tired.
I'm going to do two songs of original songs. I'm going to do one song with Aida. This song is called 10 Years Ago, and it's one of the songs that I have in my EP. If you're interested, you can come and look for me just to know more about it. Okay. Okay. Let me get comfortable. All right. So this song is pretty much about how 10 years ago you have a dream that you put at the back of your mind, and 10 years later you kind of like tell yourself like, hey, yeah, there's this dream that I wanted to do, and you hello, there's this dream that I wanted to do, and then it became forgotten. Then like, oh, I want to work on that dream again. So this song is about that. Okay, so I have a new song, but I would like to invite Aida to come on stage and help me with the backup. Hello, everyone. Okay, so this song I wrote not too long ago, and I've been working on it with my colleague, and I don't know, it's something different from what I've usually written. It's about how, you're in a state of depression and who's in depression and just telling them don't give up. So this song's about that.
Yeah.
Shut the door, shut it out. There's no scream when you shout. From the star in the night, miles away from the light. Raindrops hit some windowsill, tears mixed with your scar. Break your skin, breaking out, take you slowly getting dark. 'Cause you're walking on a tightrope, balancing on a slippery rope. When your world's filled with sorrow, sometimes the best thing to do is hold on tight. Hold on tight. Hold on tight. Balancing on a string, reaching out for the sun. Voices are calling out for you to hold on. 'Cause you're walking on a tightrope, balancing on a slippery pole. When your world's filled with sorrow, sometimes the best thing to do is, 'cause you're walking on a tightrope, balancing on a slippery pole. When your world's filled with sorrow, sometimes the best thing to do is hold on tight. Know that you are not alone. Tell yourself that you won't. When you feel like letting go, never let go, let go. Shut the door, shut it out. There's no scream when you shout. Thank you. So nervous. Okay, we're gonna do a cover
Yeah.
by Tika and Sarah. It's called "Call It Off." Have you heard of Tika and Sarah? Yes. Yes. Awesome. Okay. I won't regret saying this thing that I'm saying. Is it better than keeping my mouth shut? That goes without saying. Oh, break it.
didn't get chills down your spine after that, you're probably deaf. Or you don't have a taste in good music. Give it up for them once again, guys. Great stuff. Alright, I had to come off stage because I forgot who's coming up next. Well, I've never seen this guy before, and I'm pretty sure he's got some really good shit for us. So guys, give it up for Fauzan. Fauzan coming up. Knock off the socks.
Hello. Kind of my first point here upstage. So, this is home for the team back to school. I titled this, it's a strategy. I titled this Aftermath. So, TV is playing and buzzing in the living room. Probably a new segment of last week incident. And probably the next segment will be the accumulated debate fest of whatever they can agree on. So I still finish my last leg of my cereals before I start off the school. So I grab my school bag and stood at the doorway and look at my parents. It's customary for me to do so. I hug my folks and I look them up again. Their face had the pain of last week. And my face on the other hand, was down with trauma. So I walk out the street, and there were other women too, and others at their own doorstep with their own brave face, and they soon fill the street with their own sluggish zombie walk. They are massed at the gates, and before they pass through the gates, outside around it, before they pass through the gates, were the graves of the fallen of last week. Fallen that were shot down, fallen that we remember. Our numbers differ from last week, and we know the reason why, but we will push it out because we don't want to think about it. We went on with our school, plus the teacher taught us as normal because we don't want to remember the pain of last week. We go through the day as per normal. Also, we wish that it was normal as if nothing happened. Or this was the aftermath of last week massacre. That's it. That's it.
That's what I like about Kuzma. You get one guy who hasn't done anything before, he comes up and he does some really great shit. Alright, now the guy's coming up next. He's not new to the stage. He's been around the poetry scene. I first saw him at the U21 Slam. He tried to sing. What an advice. Stick to poetry. Go! But he's a great poet, I swear. He has the best rhymes in the world. Guys, give it up for Chris!
Chris, I love you. Cross, Shit. Go on, jump.
Fuck. You know, back to school, like, fuck, man. You know, they call me sir, they call me professor, they call me Mr. Quack, but fuck, okay, they think they hate going to school, right? But I hate them more. I gotta see their stupid faces. You know how slow they are, right? But professionalism. So I get to my poem. According to government reports, statistics, and analysis, I am what is called a teacher. Depending on who you ask though, I'm actually, but not limited to, a zookeeper, a ringmaster, a warden, a mechanic, and a father. Oh. The wee babies, the cubs, I gotta feed them, check them, keep them, but never collect them. Collecting is a parent's job. and some parents should get fired from their job. Then the cows, no longer need feeding, but I still have to check them, keep them, and teach them tricks. A is for apple, B is for blackberry, C is for your excursion has been cancelled, and D is for those who will go to a bad secondary school, those who become road sweepers, cleaners, construction workers, have no futures, and also I'm going to call your parents and make sure that you get tuition. And then comes the clowns. Always performing at the wrong time, always happy on the outside, but actually I know that they are blue on the inside. I treat them all like crickets, a cricket circus, trying to get them to speak at the right moment. But sometimes it's the silence where you hear them loudest, and sometimes I let them cry. I switched from the circus to the prison. So yeah, big shot, warden bitches. But I deal with a different kind of animal. The kind suffering growth spurts and phases. The fidgety kind, waiting for release from 4 grey walls. The kind that start giving each other looks and sparks fly. The kind that will drop the soap, start on the slippery slope. I teach them 4-letter words. Words like stop, words like halt, words like wait, words like no, words like down, and fuck. So I have to protect them. Because even if they think themselves inmates and I as their warden know that they are my wards. So I protect them. And if that fails, I provide them with protection. Now, out of the blue, I'm a mechanic, right? In the desperate last days, I fix their grammar. I screw their heads that y equals to mx plus c, y equals to mx plus c, y equals to mx plus c. That's for your linear equations. Y equals to mx plus c, right? And that dub is not what. You know, don't mix dubstep with heartbeats. No, I know you're in a new phase music, but no, it's biology. So listen. And then sometimes the higher ups, the divine intervention, the government, they tell me that, you know, I'm supposed to become a potter, but for fuck's sake, right? The minds of youth aren't made of clay. They aren't mine to mold. Like, you don't, mold their minds to a better future. Like, no, fuck. So, I'm a zookeeper, a ringmaster, a warden, a mechanic, a father. But never a dad, never a dear. Just ask my son. He greets me, father. Mom says no. That's it. My dear baby boy, in 18 years, he has grown into a stranger. And then you can ask my wife, where did she go? Where did I go? Right? In all 18 years, she's gone from honey to pumpkin, never a dear, and now she's just a stranger. So every morning as I leave to go back to school to ensure the next generation's future, I worry about my son's future, I worry about my future. So fuck going back to school.
And that's Chris for you, some firebrand poet going on here. You know, I say the same thing to myself too. Every day I have to go back to school like, fuck me. Alright, coming up next, we have another newcomer to the stage. Give it up for Eating! Eating coming up.
This is okay. I was 4, and my vocabulary is small, when I chanced upon the word husband. So I asked my mother what husband meant. To this, she replied, a husband is your best friend. You could almost imagine a 4-year-old me holding hands in a nursery, asking people who their husbands were, and when they asked me what husband meant. To this, then I replied, oh, didn't you know? A husband is your best friend. Now, we've all had our share of stupid things. It's as if God allocated them like pie, and maybe I just really didn't like the flavor he gave me. So now put yourself in the shoes of 6-year-old me. Spelling tests, math quizzes, story reading things. BEAUTIFUL. From From Daddy, I still remember his smile. Praises from Mommy and stickers, stamps. And my dad told me, you know, you can't always get full marks. Signing yet another spelling test full of stars. Thursday came, papers down, ears up, and a few children frowned. Leave was the word. I knew it well, but I spelt it F-A-E-L. We've all had our share of stupid things, but I just take too much. It's like the first time I had wasabi. Chopsticks in hand, eyes on the prize. Wasabi was not ice cream. Too late did I realize. And you have me right now on stage. We've come to the last of the stupid things I did in the past. Most recently, I tell you, I got locked up from my MacBook. And when I remember it was 5370, lo and behold, a ton of pop-ups showed. Carrying the curse of doing stupid things, in each OK button I click, ding ding, ding ding. Are you sure you want to wipe out your Mac OS X? Okay, yeah, okay, sure. Oh, fuck. Right? So we've all had our share of stupid things. And if they were rationed, I think I got the bigger portion. I'll still like to think my future husband could be my best friend. My parents sometimes still think I'm smart. And my MacBook's up and running again. So I tell you friends, stupid things, I don't mind them at all. In fact, I like to take them with a pinch of wasabi. Just second poem. Oh my god, I think I'm too tall. Anyway, this second poem extends the exceedingly short but absolutely heartbreaking poem of Bill Tapley, The Awful Truth. I like to call it the more awful truth. His grin that tugs at your cheeks, washlessly giving you thoughts. Like a boat out at storm, you swim, your eyes gravitate towards his. This you cannot deny. The boy is beautiful, but his beauty is not for you. His love begs you to follow. He's a terrible compass. You're lost with him. It's almost simultaneous, the way his tongue and your pulse skips in two. This, my darling, this boy is full of tantalizing clues, but his path is not for two. His eyes that kisses you between every nook and cranny you hold. You are a forest, and his gaze, the warmth that floods you in an afternoon daze. This, you have to remember, remember, remember. He will not last through December. Because one day, whether you are 14, 28, or 65, you will stumble upon someone who will start a fire in you that cannot die. However, the saddest, most awful truth that you will ever come to find is that we are not always with whom we spend our lives. Thank you.
Alright, that's actually our last poet for the night. Give it up for her once again. And before we end things off, I'm going to read the story, alright? Yeah, that's what it is! Now the theme is back to school. It's all about lessons, and personally, religion and I don't get along, but I always found faith to be a fantastic thing. It teaches people a lot of things. So yeah, I wrote a story about faith, and I'm going to read it now.
MC Gus, let's do it!
Faith met humility when she was... Oh wait, that was halfway through, sorry. People tend to ask Faith many questions, which she would answer in time, one by one, putting as much thought and care into every answer, regardless of how seemingly trivial they might seem, never asking for payment of any sort for the comfort she would bring in answering such questions. Some have asked her, why would she go to such lengths for people she barely knew? These people received nothing but a gentle smile and a carefully constructed answer in return, crafted from the truth hidden in the morning dew, glowing with the rays of the sunset, delivered unto them only when they needed it the most. Faith was a simple person. She always has been. This, of course, did not mean that she was naive or silly in any sense of the word, for she was the older sister of complexity and service, and the two of them benefited greatly from Faith's guiding hand. She would never claim credit for it.
for she often chose to keep things simple, as was in her nature, and it was for this reason that she got along very well with Humility, whom she met earlier on in her life. Faith was a teenager when she met Humility and enrolled into her school, which at that point in time was run with her husband, Failure. At that point in time, Faith was a conflicted student, full of insecurities and constantly hounded by doubt. She was picked on non-stop by hubris and anxiety. Together, the three sought to hinder Faith in every endeavor she undertook. It was only with the teachings and love of Humility that Faith blossomed into the magnificent woman that she was. And even in her old age, when doubt or hubris or anxiety crept back into her life and demanded their due, Faith would turn to the teachings of Humility, and she would try to use it to try and ease the pain of her long-time tormentors. She has yet to succeed, but she tries nevertheless, for Faith was never one to hold animosity in her heart, and has instead always sought to help those around her, even those who would do her harm. Eventually, Faith grew old, and one evening she walked out into the woods that surrounded her home, which she shared with her husband of many years, Community. This was after many of their friends had come over for a party. She had spoken with all of them, and was pleased to hear of their many achievements. Each of them had come to Faith when they were young and unsure of themselves. They sought her advice and comfort on dealing with their hardships. But that was then, and now they no longer needed Faith, for they had since found their way in life. Faith didn't mind, for she was not the sort who felt the need to constantly be in everyone's lives. She preferred to be around those who needed her the most, and so she left in search of those who needed her greatly. This is not to say that she has vanished completely, of course, for Faith will still come to your aid whenever you ask her to. Her voice carried as a whisper on the wind, her answers to your questions as timely as ever, and her insight simple, yet as profound as they always have been, as they should have been. She has 2 children, whom she raised with a husband of many years before setting them free into the world. Their names are Beauty and Hope, both equally as sought after as Faith was, but seemingly more elusive for some reason whatsoever. But that is of no worry to Faith, of course, for she always knew where they were, and were always more than willing to guide those who needed her daughters the most to wherever they might be. In fact, I'm pretty sure you can find them too if you ever needed their help. All you have to do is ask, and Faith will answer, as she always has. As she always will. And that's the end. Alright, that's the end of Who's Back, Section 5. Now I'd like to invite Daryl Edmond up to make a special announcement. Give it up for Daryl, my main man.
What is it? I want to thank everyone for coming down tonight for session 5, Poetry Nights at Kuzba. And as everyone over here knows, what we got over here, my man Mac, he's changed it, he stepped it up a little bit. What we got poetry jams over at Kuzba every 3 months. So what we got to do is, we've got 2 poets, 2 musicians. They're gonna come on the stage, they're gonna get a small little prize, and then in December next year, what am I talking about? I drank too much. Next month, they're gonna battle it out. You get 1 poet, 1 musician. They're gonna get a really nice, sweet prize. So right now, I'm gonna call Mr. Shark over here, because tonight he's the man with his music to come over here and give him our sponsors over here. And that's not the end of it, because you gotta practice your shit. Because next month, on December the 6th, the first Saturday of the month, you gotta be up here doing your shit, my man. You know I love you. Shit, you know? I see you driving around town, the girl I love. Fuck you. Forget it. And the next musician of the night, Badria. I'm sorry, only you tonight. Your awesome friend cannot join you and help you out. You have to battle through this on your own.
Okay.
There you go. Congratulations. I think it works like congratulations. It doesn't work that.
It's okay, it's French.
Alright, and now we got 2 poets that are gonna come up tonight who won the so-called little poetry jam over here at Cuss. I'm gonna call my man Chris. Where you at, baby? Chris. Yeah, you don't like school, but you write shit about poetry and shit. Okay. Alright. Fuck the teachers, fuck the shit, fuck the system.
I'll kill all the competition.
Yeah, just don't fuck me. I don't go that way. I don't go that way at all. Shit, okay, I love you. And And the last poll for the night is going to come up, and she's going to be down next month. Will be the lovely first timer. I don't mean first time like Yi Ching. Yeah, come on, baby. You're gonna write the stuff for next month. A nice T-shirt for our sponsors, Budweiser. I think it's $5 a bottle. We got a whole bucket for like $50. I think how much bucket? It's cheap. Get it down. Thank you very much, Eugene. And I'll call my man Dustin up on stage. Bring the beer. We're gonna end it off like how we end off every single poetry night where close by we got a little toast. And how it goes is you go lift. Get everyone grab a drink. Grab a drink. I'll pretend I didn't see that. All right, because how we do it, yo, is all the way, by the way, don't pass away, motherfuckers. I love you.